So I need to preface, I actually think this album art is very cool looking. I'm just trying to find a way for the title Intuition to tie in with it. And I really don't. But all the same, whoever took this photograph, good job. Just wanted to throw it out there. Welcome back to Y.E.S, everyone. Today we're talking about Intuition, the 7th studio album released by Billy Currington. This is another one of those slightly more non-conventional country albums. Although I feel like the country element is pretty strong here, I don't think there's a lot of people who are in the traditionalist category that are maybe going to describe it the same way. It has its elements where it jumps out a little bit more. But nonetheless, I really wanted to talk about this album because it had a few tracks in here that really stood out to me, and the rest of the album is worth talking about as well. I would describe this album within its country-centric style to also add some probably more rock-oriented elements as well as more modern-oriented production, depending on which song you reference. So I really just want to get into the things that really got me motivating in this album, starting off with the first track, Lead Me. This one starts off very strong with that slightly more modern production, but wow, does that lead guitar really just hook you in? And I struggle to recall a lot of songs where I just feel like this feels like it's adventurous. I really like that kind of feeling. This one got me right in there. The next track I would like to highlight is the third track, Deja Vu. It's a cute love pop oriented song that maybe to some listeners would think of it as maybe more filler. To me, I'm just like, I could put this in a playlist and I would be very happy to add it on. Skipping down to the 9th track, we have Moon and Back. Everything in this song, I just feel like embraces the idea of stargazing. Why does no one really talk about that anymore? That's a great activity to do. I mean, sure, it's kind of lazy, but it also implies romanticism, so you gotta do it with the right person. So there you are, 3 songs right there where I think that those are really good moments, kind of just to give you a good idea of what this album has to offer at its best. Everything else, it's still pretty good. Currington kind of goes a little bit more simplistic in some of the other songs where the category of filler would be typical to place on some of the other songs here. But because most of the other songs in here don't go for that slightly more up-tempo, adventure-oriented kind of beat, you might just feel like, it's kind of bringing down its tone a little bit. I think overall the songs have something to offer lyrically. There are a couple of times where I feel like maybe songwriting-wise it could have tried to push itself ever so slightly more. And there's a couple of times where maybe he adds one extra element into the song where I'm just like, I don't care about that. Like the last track has a little bit of whistling that just kind of feels a little corny. But these are all just slight nitpicks throughout the album as a whole. And I feel like most of the songs kind of earn their spot. I just really, really like to emphasize the 3 that I had at the beginning. And I feel like there's probably a lot of people out there who are probably going to maybe listen to this album and say, that wasn't bad, but I don't know if it was one of my favorites. And I can completely understand that. There's something about this album that really calls to me, and I feel like I'm a little bit more on a hype train, and I feel like I'm trying to figure out a way how to cool it off ever so slightly, but when I re-listen to it as a whole, I still really find myself enjoying it, aside from just those 3 tracks. So this is kind of a simple review, to be honest. I know that there's a lot of people out there who aren't going to maybe listen to this album as seriously if you're looking for a country oriented album, because it is country, but again, it has a lot of those more modern elements that some people are going to just, like say, never mind. Remember, I'm not really a country purist. I don't mind straight old school oriented country music or anything that is kind of more in lines lyrically or traditionally for that country genre. But I just want to hear good music, and if this one strays away from the traditional elements ever so slightly, while not necessarily offending them, I'm okay with that. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with the following grades here for the album categories I rate, how would I recommend this album? I am going to give it a yeah. Once again, I'll emphasize, I may like this album more than other people, and I acknowledge that. Maybe it's a bias, or maybe I recognize something that maybe others don't. I'm not really sure. But I'm just going to be honest. If someone just asked me, would you recommend this album? Yeah. Like, it would come naturally easy to me to be able to say that. I know that there's probably songs in there that they're going to like, and some others that they'll be, like, kind of indifferent to. And that's fine by me. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you again so much for watching, and be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and insert graphic for call to actions right here. Make sure you follow all of these so I can see you once again here, where you can come back and discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, culture, and lifestyle, while not forgetting quality, values, and fun. And above all, get that yes in your life. See you next time. Baby, you're my